What are some of the things that maybe I don't think that I can show up better, or what has been challenges that I haven't done?
In this particular context of like the postpartum period, I didn't know what I needed, and neither did you. I wish you would have honored like a healing time and space for me right after. That didn't involve like having visitors and walking to the Grove and starting our weekly social events right away. I had a really tough postpartum period, and I feel like it lasted for several years. And so it's just given me this newfound passion in really helping mothers in the postpartum period, especially in the beginning. I feel like so much care and dedication should be given to mothers in that first fourth trimester is what is a common term for it, right? That first 3 months after they have their child, of like a lack of just society and this village mentality and community of people showing up and caring for the parent, especially the mother unit and this new child, in forms of proper nutrition and rest and simple things like helping them around the house. Like, it's so impossible to just keep up with the basic needs in life in this first period. And so I feel like if we just remembered when we used to do it, and other places are doing it in other countries around the world. It's so simple. They already know how to do it, and they're doing it. We just have to remember how to do it for ourselves in this modern Western society. And so I'm just really passionate about trying to just educate us again of like, let's remember how to take care of our moms.
Yeah.
We men have to show up better and hear that and then make changes or show up in ways that we wouldn't think otherwise. So what do you think, even if you just made it personally, like, okay, you said I do some of these things great, I show up. What are some of the things specifically? How could I have shown up better? Tell me.
Yeah.
What?
Well, again, I think it's no fault of our own. Like, I didn't know and you didn't know, but
You're
wish.
protecting me right now, though.
I know.
Because you're prefacing. Tell me what I could have done better.
I know you have this perspective of like, let's keep it moving, which is fine. But I think for that period specifically, I didn't know it and you didn't know it either. It was like, let's start our Monday nights again, because you were just like, let's keep living life, which was fine in one sense. But in the other, I didn't know that my body needed to reset. My hormones needed to rebalance. Like, there's so much happening physiologically in a woman's body after birth that they just need like this peace bubble.
Okay. That's the first time I've heard that one.
I feel like the big lesson I'm learning in this is pushing out what doesn't belong to me anymore. You know, like setting those boundaries. I think women, and especially mothers, we take on so much. And we don't know how to set, or we're not encouraged, or we're not given the space to like assess what's ours and what's not ours, what we should and shouldn't be taking on. And I'll just say it, like, when you become a mom and the dynamic in that household is that the mother stays at home or is the main caretaker, that's a huge undertaking and job. And unless you have like someone that's living with you, you know, or a full-time nanny or whatever, like, there's so much. And I remember when I first became mom, I kept feeling like, okay, I got to find my next thing. I got to do my next thing. I was almost trying to like escape it. Like, I can't just be a mom. That's not enough. But it is enough.
And more than enough.
And more than enough.
More than one person can handle.
Yes. So I'm, finally starting to kind of like shed layers of like responsibilities and committees and just things that I know don't belong to me right now. And I know that when the kids get older, there'll be time to develop, to grow, and there's little pockets of time here and there. But just as my life as it stands now, this is my role and this is enough. And it just makes me so sad just how, again, forgotten mothers and children are. Like, there's no respect, there's no value, there's no monetary, compensation for it. Like, and everyone came out of someone's womb. Everyone. We all do. So someone had to do it for you. And the fact that we don't place more value and attention to this. And even though it happens, 9 months and they have it and then that can be productive again. There's so much more to it that I think we're missing. And I think one of the solutions to just all the world problems will start when anything that we decide. I remember one mom shared this with me and my brain literally exploded. She said, I can't wait until we live in a world where everything, and I mean everything, is when it's thought of or created, the first question is, how are mothers and children involved or supported, or how do we take care of them in the process? When a park is being built, when a parking structure is being built, when a business building is being built, when a podcast is being created, how are mothers and children considered in this equation? What would it look like?
Yeah. Or policy and laws.
And policy.
Right? We would live in a very different society if we treated every mother with the respect that she deserves. We'd all, right? Not just mothers.
We'd all benefit.
Well, one of the ways we do that is me personally showing up differently or better or mindful. Justin, my brother, our friends, men have to then be mindful of that now, since we are oftentimes the ones in charge of policy and so much that if we hear these conversations and care about it and really see the effect that it has on women and mothers, and then we consider it in all that we do. Policy doesn't just change because it changes. It changes because the individuals change.
Yeah. The job of being a mother, to your point earlier, it feels a lot for one person because it was never meant to be for one person.
Exactly.
It was meant for a village.
A village
was taking care of the children. And in a society, do you know who the village is? The government. That's why we pay taxes.
Right.
And in a civilized society, you put those taxes to creating that village with a social support that's paid leave, that's childcare, that's
postpartum doulas.
Healthcare. Ever heard of it? Just providing mental health support to new mothers.
Don't just tell me I need antidepressants. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. And also, you can't even be on antidepressants when you're pregnant. I mean, this is a controversial take, but, some women are doing it anyways. But yeah, it's actually not a solution. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I get so enraged when I see the way that we treat mothers. And, we're having this conversation around male friendships and men have less and less friends. The people who spent the less amount of time with their friends because of the pandemic and during the pandemic were mothers. Women actually, as a result of the pandemic, lost more touch with their friends. And that's actually, again, it kind of goes against the thing that women are good at, which is building community. But if you put everything onto mothers, then everything will start to fall away. And there's also, I was kind of shocked to see this data that we spend twice as much time with our kids as we used to. Did you know? I didn't know this. Basically, again, the expectation.
Oh.
Yes, it's just the expectation of parents being with their children.
Right.
is much higher than it used to be. And now women are also expected to be incredible and superheroes and be a badass at work and spend twice as much time with your kids. How is that? So the math doesn't add up. And when the math doesn't add up, women take on, take it on so that society can continue.
Right.
But it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't.